proposed at 318 College Highway. I emailed this to the commission. I have the 2 checks payable to the town of Southampton for the filing fee, the $262.50 for the state share, and $250 for your local share for filing fee, and 2 sets of the notice of intent. Yep. Leave that where you can put it in.
You usually bring a check for the ad.
When it comes out.
When it comes up.
Yeah, when it comes up. I understand your meeting's not until October 23rd
or something, yeah.
Yeah. So, we'll see you then.
And let you know if we need a site visit.
Yeah, let me know beforehand. This site is right across from Southampton Country Club, up on the hillside. It's mowed fields. He's going to be building in the fields. There's no tree cutting at all. It's all within the fields that are currently existing.
Oh yeah, that's those
up in there.
Those gullies that come down to the
Yeah,
road.
there's 2 gullies that come down. Each contain wetlands and seasonal runoff.
Right. Yeah.
So yes, if you want to have a site visit,
yeah, being an NOI, I would anticipate a
Yes.
site visit.
Yes.
Yep. Try to get scheduled up before the.
Good. Perfect. Let me know. We'll be out there. Thanks.
New business, Mr. Beaujolais.
Mr. Barker, Mr. Fletcher, Mr. Baker, good enough. I ran into Marla on the way out. I understand she's not here.
Yep.
What I have, and I've been discussing with the Community Preservation Committee since last year, is I own some acreage of land in Southampton that's abutting LaBrie Fields on Strong Road. And I'm looking to do eventually, thinking what I'm going to do eventually with my land. I have a 2.2 acre parcel presently that I presented to the Community Preservation and others to see if the town was interested in having a first bid, first chance at securing that property. CPC will be putting together a list of projects for the coming year. I have talked to Marla at CPC meetings, but never been to the Conservation Commission full board to discuss the project. I did send information to the chair. I don't know if you received any of it.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so the proposal is a 2.2 acre parcel. It's been appraised by Canon. It has a value, assessed value, or appraised value by the town appraisers of $77,000 approximately. And that's what I put forth to the CPC if they're interested in buying for the appraised value. The assessed value is higher than that, much higher than that. It abuts other property I own, considerable acreage, which is a Christmas tree field. That's a pretty nice acreage, as is the 2.2 acres as partial Christmas trees. So I was on the Community Preservation Committee years ago. I understand they're looking to preserve the community how they can, purchasing properties of interest, old farms, that sort of thing, might be in the interest of the town, Parks Commission, Community Preservation, and the Concom. Parks Commission has a number of projects on their list right now, a number of projects that they're looking to build a pavilion, improve the ball fields, and right now did not want to necessarily take the lead on this project, but don't object to it either. I think, looking at the CPC categories, the open space and recreation, it seems to fit in, with that. I did send some pictures, I did send some information. I think the next step, if interested, is if you wanted to take a walk the site in a subsequent meeting sometime in October. So, how do you feel about that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised the Park Commission wasn't more interested in it, being as it's right adjacent to their property. I mean, obviously they're not opposed, how usable it is for their purposes, right, but just to expand their footprint.
I think it still could. I mean, if it goes open space, conservation and recreation, I'm not sure, but it can be conserved for a number of years and sort of value as a kind of a green necklace of sort, or partial green necklace around the ball fields. And then if they want to put it to use, and be there for the town to take that step possibly, or just, retain its present state, which is kind of nice.
Sure.
So, inviting you to my property. It's a little bit before Christmas tree season, but, you know, we'll walk it. And you tell me what a good date for the board would be.
Okay.
All right, we'll get back in touch with you.
Yeah, we'll get in touch with you with
Okay.
a date for a site visit. We'll
Good.
probably try to schedule it on a date close to a time when we've have another site visit, or we're
Okay.
together doing that already anyways.
Maybe preferably before December.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Is there any particular day during the week that's not best for you?
The best days for me, daytime hours, is Wednesday, Fridays, and weekends. I tend to work Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays. I'm normally up at work up in Franklin County.
All right, well, weekends have been working really well with us lately,
Okay,
so we'll talk.
okay. I know you got a full agenda here, so, any other questions, or you'll get in touch with me when we can walk it?
Yeah, we'll get
Okay.
in touch with them.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I got a pretty good idea where it is anyways,
Yeah,
as I think some of us, the
yeah.
rest of us do too.
Many people in town have cut Christmas trees in the past there. It's a beautiful place just to walk through.
Sure. Yeah, and being right, adjacent to the fields over there. Yeah,
I mean, it's a budding town resource or town asset.
exactly.
I think CPC is looking for. It's not just an isolated
Right, yeah.
2 acres.
Yeah, if
It's
it was
nice.
2 acres in the middle of nowhere,
Right, so what?
kind of, yep,
So we'll see what you think of it when we walk it.
sure.
Any questions on the pictures? Any questions on what's that? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Great, thank you.
I did have one question. Sorry, I'm trying to type in participate. So the question was, is it a building, like, could it be a building lot?
I would not build on that too much.
No, not the question. Could it be a building lot? Like, have you had a perk test on it? Does it meet the requirements for the road frontage and acreage and all that?
What it does is a lot other property I own, which could support a
Thank
house.
you. So in conjunction with another piece of property that you own,
That I own.
it could be
So
buildable,
it has some value to me.
but it's not buildable on its own?
I haven't tried to. My son's house is right next door, so I'm not looking to, put a house right next door.
That's very nice. But you haven't done a perk test on this, like?
I get half of that,
But it doesn't have frontage either,
Yes, it
right?
does. It's
It
got the
does.
dimensional criteria. That's why for the last 8 to 10 years, I've been paying taxes on a
Going
building
right,
lot.
right, gotcha.
So
And
you have been paying taxes as if it's a building lot?
for the last, 8 to 10 years,
Thank you.
2006, whenever.
Thank you.
I saw the things on the agenda, so I'm just kind of interested in listening in here.
Absolutely. Yeah, being one of them, they're water commissioners.
What's that?
Being one of them, they're water commissioners.
Is there a water commission agenda? Pardon?
No,
Oh.
well, yes and no, the Glendale Road project.
Oh, the Article
It was
97?
our project,
Yes.
our land. Yep. So yeah, moving on to old business. We'll continue the NOI for the Glendale Road reconstruction project. Go ahead, Matt.
Last week, I stepped out of the meeting for reasons of potential conflict of interest. Watched the meeting after the fact, and as a group, pretty much figured out there were no problems involving conflict of interest, so I'm going to be involved this evening.
Cool. Just making that declaration.
Yeah.
Cool.
Before we go through that one.
Oh. How much time did you got there?
Not a ton.
How did we do last time? Did we have extension cord?
You must have had a quarter.
Or, no.
You just moved the chair.
Really?
Probably.
Yeah.
Man, probably something. That's not gonna help.
You can move the podium to the, I think.
Could you, Randall? Randall's gonna,
Thank you.
3 feet shy.
Hold this. Thank you.
All right, so while we're working on that, just kind of a recap. We did a site visit, checked the delineations. Hey, Jim, are you just here as general public, or can you chime in for the planning board as far as the stormwater bylaw? It's going to disturb more than 40,000 square feet. Have they done a plan with you guys?
Well, I can just share with you an email I went through. I don't know how official it is.
Okay.
Let me call it up. Let me go up here and see if it's being recorded.
Suppose I could ask Randall the same thing. Was there, or you guys, was there a plan to submit to the planning board for stormwater management?
Typically, as part of our projects included in the bid documents, the contractor is required to do NICDs. So they will have to do that in order to proceed with construction. It is not something that we typically will do before it goes out to bid. It is included as part of the bid.
Okay, so that will be forthcoming.
Yes.
Okay. Very
That
good.
answers that.
I'd still be interested to hear what the planning board had to say, though.
There's no official.
No.
Right, the planning board doesn't have anything to say at this point because they have no.
Yeah, it's an email that went around, and we had one member that wasn't sure if it was required because it was a state project, but we got no official notification at this point.
And you don't feel like you need to be in on the plan, just the stormwater piece after the fact? Are you
Right.
comfortable with that?
The planning board reviews all stormwater management, so we'll see where it goes, I guess.
And Randall, that's something you'd be taking care of once you get the project?
I'm just curious, we've done 2 state projects in the past 2 years. I'm not sure if the Safe Routes to School had a stormwater component, but I know the other one came before the commission. What was the procedure then?
Where was it, Randall?
It was right out here. It went from right out here at Town Hall up to the gas station. Yeah.
So the issue is that this is by the town.
Well, what's that got to do with whether it needs a stormwater plan? The stormwater plans are.
As I understand it, that's the threshold that triggers a stormwater plan, right? It's 40,000 square feet.
Yeah, 1 acre of disturbance is what.
Disturbed soil.
Disturbed soil, yes, down to the sub-base level, so.
Okay. So we don't know what the procedure was for the previous one?
If it didn't meet that threshold,
Yeah,
they might
yeah,
not have
I
had
was gonna say,
to.
It doesn't strike me as it met that square footage. So it
Okay.
wasn't required.
But yes, it is, Mass DOT will typically require us to include that if we do meet the threshold, so.
Technology can't replace these people.
I did just want to mention, we did provide 2 hard copies, so made sure that,
Does anybody need them?
No, I also have some of the copies.
okay.
Email, please.
So we're still working on it. As the committee, if they agree with what we saw, agree with the delineation as written too.
Agree with the delineation.
Having 2 minutes. much better.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so Dan Cotto from VHB, Dominica, and Bazinet. Thank you all for meeting with us last week to review the delineation and take a look at the project on site there. As stated, we did redelineate 2 wetlands to the east of Glendale Road. Found the delineation was in fairly reasonable keeping with the old delineation line that we had there. It was not encroaching on the project limits as we had previously anticipated.
I did want to mention we had prepared a memo addressing the comments that we previously received from DEP, as well as comments we received at the last hearing. I know your major concerns at the last hearing were the wetland redelineation and concerns regarding the additional flow. I know while we were out in the field, we discussed what we are doing, including providing stone to dissipate the energy as it exits the 2 outfalls. I don't know if you had any additional questions that came up as a result of the site walk, or if you are in agreement with what we prepared as far as additional information.
I know I've got a few questions, concerns, but firstly, just go over your plan real quick, what the
Certainly.
blue lines are, the orange line and red lines.
So the 2 blue lines are the original wetland delineation and the new wetland delineation from 2017. The orange line is the 25-foot no disturb zone, and the red is the 100-foot buffer.
And the opposite side of the road, that is the 100-foot buffer
From
the
now, yeah, we're just up.
Yeah.
Once you get
So I don't know if you want to show them the other
Sure, yeah,
location.
if you want to take a look, this was
This is wetland 2.
more southerly of the 2 wetlands. I had this on one slide this week.
Thought it might make it easier.
And this was the one foot of that slope over further up to the north on Leonard Road. This one, the overlap of the 2 wetland lines, that was effectively the same footprint as before.
I mean, me personally, just as a commissioner, not the whole commission, this one I had less concerns with, just because of where the water winds up and how it gets there. So this one, yeah, this piece I don't have a problem with. Do you have questions, concerns?
No, I agree. We walked the site, and there was plenty of vegetation to soak up any type of high flows that we would be concerned about if there would be.
I mean, obviously, it's fairly steep, right adjacent to the road there, but after that, then it kind of flattens out, gets grassy.
I think the other one that we were worried about was the abutters, the fill right there. Was that part of the deal with the reinforcement?
Can you go back to the other wetland location, please? We are going to be proposing the energy dissipating stone just within the public right-of-way. So there will be a stone pad up by the head wall. I know that the abutter did express concerns about the water that's going here. Unfortunately, the existing topography directs all the water there now. Without doing significant regrading, we really can't prevent the water from going to that point, and we cannot take a permanent easement on Article 97 land to do anything that would require maintenance to maintain something. So putting in something like stone for check dams, or even closer to the outfall, like a sediment forebay, which would require maintenance, is unfortunately not possible at this time.
Now, how about just lining the existing channel, so to speak, with riprap type of material?
We could do something like
stabilize it?
a jute mesh or a geotextile fabric to make sure that the soil will stay in place while the vegetation does get growth until that point. We'll make sure that there will be no erosion by providing that, and that's something that we can do. Certainly, jute mesh and something like that is something that we could add if that's something you would like to see there, or even something like an anchored sod.
Yeah, like I said, I was looking for something more stone, so that the bank up against the garage there, I mean, like you said, that's where the topography goes, that's where the water's gonna flow. It seemed pretty evident, at least in a storm event, there's pretty significant erosion that takes place, which obviously goes downhill, and then it plugs up the drainage that goes across the field.
Yeah.
You know, we wind up losing our field as well.
If it is something that concerns him, I mean, it's outside of our limits of project because it's not related to the road itself. The slope could potentially have riprap placed, but I don't know if that's something that the commission would like to pursue separate from this project. But it is something that we could potentially help you with if you want to look into it as a separate project. We do typically on roadway projects where we have steep embankments provide something like a riprap slope. So
How far out are you planning to come with the riprap as it stands?
for the on here, there's a laser. So this line is the town layout. We are doing the stone here and stopping at the edge of the town layout.
Do you have any concerns, Randall? You don't foresee any issues happening, probably that would be end up causing you some headache down in the future?
I'm not an engineer, but I can't imagine the amount of water would be increased by that much where, I mean, I walked that swale with you guys. It seems pretty vegetated. There's lots of vines down there, lots of stuff to hold stuff back. I didn't see any active erosion. All I noticed was the abutter has dumped stuff over the bank and that looked loose.
You can't extend the riprap into the limit of work because of the,
It would be technically a change of use.
right, and easement and whatnot.
Correct.
No.
And I did want to mention there is an existing paved waterway in this area located over here. There's a little outfall existing. So water is going in this area right now. We aren't really significantly changing where the water is being directed.
Right, I understand that, I was just looking for a way
To provide
take
some
the
additional
energy out of it,
mitigation,
Well, also realize that there's currently nothing there but a paved swale. And there's going to be deep well sumps in there, which have a volume of several hundred gallons.
I don't know what it is in gallons, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest.
But if that's going to soak up the
But
initial
they
storm
are
surge,
about
if you will.
4 feet deep is the typical sump.
And those are perforated, right? Or no?
No,
No, they're just solid.
yes, they will be solid precast structures.
Now, is there any way to do any type of change to the outlet instead of having it come horizontally out, maybe get a 90 and come down into the rock?
Honestly, I'm not certain we could make that work. Right now, right now we are holding minimum 0.4% slopes in some locations, trying to hold a 1% slope on the pipe. So the elevation that we have here is kind of maxed out. So if we were to try and lower the stone pad to do something like you're talking about where it would maybe waterfall into it, we would have to chase the grading even further in order to make sure that it would flow.
There was some discussion among people on the water commission saying that possibly something could be done on their side for the water quality that we are concerned about. Is that something that we could try to coordinate? Or not us, but they could try to coordinate with you?
Well, it it comes down to, again, it's a proprietary project and there is a timeline, and the town would have to commit to having the funds for it before it could go to bid. So if the town, if you would like to pursue that, it's something the town will have to commit to in order for this project to go out to bid.
By commit, can you tell me what that means, like a letter or like?
Typically,
Usually we have funding.
yeah, I honestly, that's more something that Mass DOT would dictate. I think it would be something like a letter of commitment. I don't know exactly what the town would have to produce in order to meet Mass DOT's requirements. You're welcome.
Can I ask what is the contaminant of concern that there's requested treatment?
Well, I would, not seeing numbers here if I saw the numbers. And my opinion right now is that they're collecting more water from the road and it's going to come out in a more focused location.
Okay.
I mean, certainly some of it is just sheet flowing off of the road onto the shoulder of the road, where presumably we're going to collect more of that. It's going to go down the storm drain, it's going to come out here. And I foresee more erosion in that channel down to the lower channels that come across the field.
Okay.
That are already currently plugged up. So my thought was we could line at least the upper part of the channel with riprap and perhaps, you know, as a condition or something like that, open up the cross drainage that goes across the field.
Mm-hmm.
So that it doesn't stack up and erode coming down the hill.
So it's just water volume you guys are concerned about?
No, there's also a quality issue going onto the property that has the town well. So question of like gasoline and engine oil and all, like what you would normally get on a road, pesticides from lawns and anything that would run off.
I do want to mention, we did speak with Matt Christie earlier today from the Water Commission. We did make sure that we reached out to him and asked him what his concerns were. His major concerns were, he asked to make sure that we did consider looking at trying to do the outfalls to the opposite side of the road. We explained that daylighting the pipes near the road wasn't a possibility. In order to get the grading to work, we'd be placing outfalls near people's homes. So we chose not to do that. We wanted to try and keep it where the existing paved waterways are on the easterly side of the road. So we were maintaining the flow in the same direction it's currently going. We also discussed, apparently a report was prepared in 1987, which we have a copy of, that was provided by Mr. Christie, that explains that there is a confining clay layer out there. So any material that is on the surface should not be reaching the gravel layers where the aquifer is. He said that he did have some information in the report that supported that. So he wanted us to share that. So because unfortunately I don't know that he will make it here before the meeting closes. He had other commitments.
So you won't make it here until like 8:30.
So,
But I would assume that clay layer is the same confining layer that allows the commission to permit raw manure to be put on the field next to the well and have that be okay.
Right.
So I mean, I'm having trouble coming to grips with, you allow that to happen, but the additional, however much that is going to be directed by the increased pavement of this project seems like a big issue. I'm having trouble coming to terms with that.
We just want to make sure we're not poisoning the well. So
But-
if
but
we're
what-
dotting all our-
But I get it, but you permit manure to be put on the field, which I'm completely fine with, but I mean, you know, it's a matter of scale.
But there is a difference between VOCs and colorful bacteria too.
Yeah, one has immediate effects and one has longer term effects.
Well, what's treated before it goes into the public water?
What?
Like what contaminants are already taken out before it goes into public water? You
This sounds
test and
like-
you treat for fecal coliform, you don't test and treat for VOCs,
Yes, they do.
the whole range.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, it could.
Great.
6 months or a year.
That was my only comment.
all right.
Before I ask for a motion to close the hearing, how do we want to deal with
I don't know if you want to consider making it a part of your order of conditions.
Yeah, if that's something we could do. We've done that in the past. Is there a motion to close the public hearing on NOI 280-0212? So moved. All in favor? Aye. I'm assuming we're going to do at least our standard conditions. Do we want any special conditions?
Yes, please. So, would you like to move that? I don't know that.
Yes.
Okay, so I move that we issue the standard conditions with the addition of the annual clean out of the storm catchments. And also, I'd like to propose to do it and ask Mr. Kemp the feasibility of doing it after big storm events, so we can define big storm.
Well, I would be assuming that there'd be a lot of sedimentation. I don't think there'd be a whole lot of sedimentation.
Not from the road. Our standard procedures to clean out catch basins, I'll approach the mic so that everybody can hear this. So under our current stormwater permit, we clean out all of the catch basins in Southampton's urbanized areas at least once a year. At the same time, time willing, we go throughout town and clean out all of them. So we do that usually in the fall, but if we have time in the spring, we do it in the spring. Under permit as well, we sweep all the roads in the urbanized area, but most residents know that we sweep all the streets. All those are meant to keep sediment out of the wetlands and runoffs.
Sure. And with the presumption that it's going to planning board for stormwater management plan, that's typically part of their plan, I believe. Maintenance aspect of it. You want to add that condition?
Yes.
But it's, yes, and to
Yes.
add that it's conditioned, however you want to say conditional on the planning board's acceptance of the stormwater.
Planning board's permit. The motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? What, you just late?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for answering all the questions and going back.
Moving on to new business. RDA for 71 Gilbert Road. The applicant is Salt.
Two salt.
Then that's you.
It's me.
All right. Did you sign in or sign in for somewhere?
Oh,
You can sign in before you leave.
okay.
Oh, you don't have a fancy projector?
I don't know. I feel very underprepared. I apologize. Thanks for going for me.
What? No, we get the captain
Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Right.
This card I played.
So,
I would.
So do you have a check for $97.37 for the ad and Gazette?
I have my checkbook, yes.
Okay. Is there any money in it?
That's another question. What is the amount?
$97.37.
Okay. Town of Southampton?
Yes. I said Glendale, but it's Gilbert. That makes a whole lot more sense.
We've been doing a lot on Monday, it's just.
Right? Got Glendale on the brain, it starts with a G. The eye looks like an L. again, have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
The place is really cleared out.
Yeah, big project.
Heard.
Oh, I didn't leave, you just cool. Did we ever do a site visit?
Yes.
On this trip?
Yes.
I missed that one.
Yeah, it was just, Marla Mark. So,
So we're relying on you tonight.
All right, what do you,
So I'm here to obtain a building permit for a garage at my property. And do you guys have the plans? I have copies of everything if you need anything, but.
I'll give you a copy of it, fresh. I'm sure we've got an email copy of it.
So I'm outside the 50-foot buffer zone and the 200-foot river frontage.
Oh, yeah, no.
what's the delineation date on that? Wetland that's behind there?
I do not.
I would think so. 2010 is when it was there.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with this process. If there's any questions, hopefully I can answer them.
Yeah, everything was about the foundation and if you're digging below the frost
So-
line or
So the plan is a stick build in a 4-foot frost wall and concrete slab. It's going to be a 30 by 50 structure for a garage, for storage. No plumbing or anything like that.
what's the makeup of the area around it? It said gravel, is that all going to be gravel? Or is
Yeah,
some of it going to be paved?
No, all gravel.
And it's, project's all just outside the buffer zone, or?
It's outside the 50-foot buffer zone, but it's within the 100-foot buffer zone.
So I would say the buffer is not based on that, having gone to the site, it looks quite close to the limit clearing that was marked. Have you measured that?
Yeah.
Would you kind of insert, was that like it?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we did.
You went right to the bank, not to the center of the wetlands? Because it starts at the bank, so it starts like where the land starts to go down.
Right.
Not the center of the wetland.
Yes, from the bank
Yeah.
to right back. Yeah.
I didn't have to keep being all around.
Right. Yeah.
Now, was there a proposed, do you have anything with a footprint on this particular piece of property?
Yeah. There's one on.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, here it is, right here. Oh, okay, there we have it. My fault.
I'm just trying to get a eye of where it is in relation to that. Okay, here. arrangement you had when you did this project, if you remember, with Natural Heritage?
They got no jurisdiction over his lot.
That's only the existing buildings and existing clearing of the land. It does not apply to land that has not been cleared yet.
Excuse me, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, sorry. So you're correct in that the building that existed and the clearing of the lot that had happened does not fall under the jurisdiction of Natural Heritage. But anything that had not been cleared yet or built yet does still apply.
Well, not really.
Well, the woman from the project wrote me back. I have the email if you'd like to see it, but she said it's because it would be new clearing and a new building.
They wanted me to sign a release, and I wouldn't do it. It was too restrictive. I bought 74 acres of property, or no, 54 acres of property, and they wanted to extort 37 acres from me, which I did on paper, but I would not sign it.
So that would put him liable for a lawsuit and possibly jail time.
No, because his not
Don't worry, don't worry.
His-
If he said it on paper, that's legally fine.
no.
I'm not Natural Heritage. I'm just trying to make sure that no one.
I understand.
Okay.
You have
Yeah. I don't know, here's the proposed plan.
right here.
Yeah, Mailman.
He's number 3. He's not on it.
The building and the land that was already cleared was grandfathered in.
The whole parcel is not in it.
All right, so then that's an argument that we need to have with the state if it comes to that. And just because it's under Natural Heritage jurisdiction, it doesn't mean that they won't let you build there. It just means you have to apply to them and tell them that you're doing a project. It doesn't mean they automatically say no. It just means they get a say. That's all.
Is that,
They have no jurisdiction over lot 3. None whatsoever.
All right, well, going forward anyways, looking at the natural heritage side, is there any other options you have of putting this, to take it out of those buffer zones a little bit? You know, the setbacks, it seems like there's still some room for setbacks, should there be any?
Move it,
right?
move it forward.
Forward or even left and forward?
Yeah, I think we could move it. We could move it to left and forward. That could work.
It might even be better off for you because it looks like that seems a little
A
flat.
little more flat. Yeah. Yeah. I mean that could work.
And this is all wooded right now?
Yeah. Okay.
Here's,
How big of an area is that?
80 by 100.
Take it out of the, move it away from the resource area as much as we can, and it might even be better off for him because it's,
Yeah.
we won't have to do so much fill. You guys have thoughts on that?
Compass rose, what direction are we talking?
So that's probably north, right? There it is, yeah, I'm gonna say that's probably more northern.
So south and west.
This is already
Here?
Was there a reason for the gravel all around that provides?
Quite a few pieces down there.
No, I just want a surface where, you know, I'm backing a boat up, I don't sink in terribly, but
So you have to be able to like back a trailer.
I have to back a car to it, yeah.
So you still need a circle gravel.
Yeah, fairly, okay.
Yeah, it's just
With the base, which way did you want the base to face?
the base to face north,
So
so,
not the driveway.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, well, up the road.
right.
But I think I could still make it work with what T proposed there, if that's what we need to do.
If there's a better option, it's always better to do that.
Yeah.
It's basically easier for everybody. And then that way you can pull yourself out of that's the 100 and that must be the 50. No, that's the
Yeah, and then the 50 is right here. So I'm not, I'm just
okay,
outside.
yeah, just outside the 50, but even still then,
Right,
just to
yeah,
pull more out of
definitely far outside of 50.
Mhm.
Still be
Old logging road right there or something.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, barring some heritage things they have for jurisdiction. I don't have the list of determinations to
Oh,
read from. It could be what, like a -2 or something?
I'm gonna argue it's going to be a positive. So, I guess we could do the simplified review, but it would be a positive for, that's what you're welcome to scroll through.
Will either alter areas subject to the project under the act before the work requires the filing.
The NOI kicks it to the heritage. Oh, yeah, I can do the two dinners.
Determinations. Positive would be that it's in a jurisdiction. It's not in jurisdiction.
In buffer though.
It's in a buffer zone.
Well, that's just,
That's what
yeah.
it says.
The -1, the area described on the reference plan is an area subject to protection under the act. Removing, filling, dredging, or altering the area requires an NOI. 2A, the boundary delineation of pond resource areas described on the reference plan are confirmed and accurate. Therefore, the resource area boundaries confirmed in this determination are binding as to all discussion rendered pursuant to the Wetlands Protection Act and regulations regarding such boundaries. One determination is valid. 2B, boundaries of resource areas listed below are not confirmed by this determination. Areas of other boundaries are contained in the plans attached to the determination. That's for determination. 3, the work described in the reference plan and documents is within areas subject to protection under the act and will remove, fill, dredge, therefore requires an NOI. Or the work described in the reference plan is within a buffer zone or will alter the subject area to the project under the act, therefore, or possible.
Yeah, like the negative ones are already, they're like 6 or 7. We don't do a lot of RDAs, hang with us, figure out.
I don't either, so I don't even know what you're.
Yeah, we do typically, I mean, lately we've been doing NOIs, but we've done a lot of RDAs, it's just
The chair's got it all in her
the,
head.
well, that should, a lot of times has the paperwork we issue mostly filled out ahead of time.
Okay.
And certainly right in front of her to read what
Yeah.
the negative determinations or positive determinations are, what the definitions are. Let's see, negative determination, no further action under the Wetlands Protection Act is required determination about applicability, work may not proceed, yada, yada, yada. So -1, the area described in the request is not an area subject to protection under the Act or buffer zone. -2, the work described in a request is within an area subject to protection under the Act, but will not fill, dredge, or alter the area, therefore said work will not require the filing of an NOI.
Like if you're building a fence.
We've certainly done other projects such as
It's just an advantage.
septic systems. They're clearly more involved than a fence.
Yeah.
-3, the work described in the request is within a buffer zone as defined in the regulations, but will not alter an area subject to protection under the Act. Therefore, said work does not require filing of notice and subject to the following conditions, if any. And -4, work described in the request is not within an area subject to protection, including the buffer zone. Well, it's in the buffer zone, so that doesn't apply. 5 area request is subject to protection under the Act since the work described meets following exemption. There's no exemptions that you fall under. 6, not subject to review. That's that. What does the commission wish to do?
+4, like you're saying, sounds about right.
I would disagree with that. The law doesn't impact the resource area.
Well, that's what I was just looking at.
Oh, when I read that wetland was a running stream that fed the man. It was, when I went there, that's all I said, when I went there, it's not, you can't call it a perennial stream, you can't call it an intermittent stream, because you don't have that data.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is when I went there, that was surface water and it was running to a man.
it was classified by Matt Christie as groundwater surfacing, and it's literally this wide. But still,
To me, regardless, it's a
Right.
buffer zone project, so it's not impacting the resource area.
okay.
And there's a reason I have a buffer zone, is because there is potential impact to the resource area within that area. And so if you're clearing and.
I clearly understand.
All right, well, the way to set it down. There's no way that it can impact.
Yeah.
Which one?
-3,
It's
so
a
buffer
buffer
zone.
zone that doesn't alter the research area.
And certainly we've done more significant projects than what he's applying for.
I'm not sure that you guys can make that determination having not seen the site. Neither one of you is a no, it's just what the next step is. That's all.
Now, what was the question about the natural heritage? Is it to be determined? Is that what it is?
It is not to be determined. It is.
Well, I don't have it in front of you.
Because it's not open to protected
It's in
space.
critical habitat, and it is
Yeah.
subject to natural heritage. Where's the?
It shows clearly that it's
It's not
not.
national heritage.
No, I think it is. I think the graded part is, because it did match up really nicely. And so if you look at it, you would see the hashing goes across, and it would go straight across this line. And so what Mr. Gwinner was saying is that this entire lot was exempt, but that's not the way that the state sees it. And so I'm just reporting
It
on the state's way, because we did check just to see if it did still apply, given the exemption. And she said it absolutely does. So that would be a continuation of that.
Natural heritage is so confusing.
I don't see it on the legend where it
Yeah.
says national heritage.
It's proposed open space, so the take was
Yeah, so it's
proposed.
so it's proposed open space, not
No.
national heritage.
So Bob, the reason why it was proposed was because it was taken, it was given in exchange for the road that
I
was.
understand.
done.
I was
Okay, so
here when we
but-
did the project.
Oh, good. So then the reason why.
But it's proposed open space. That's the document we have in front of us.
Yes.
We do
because-
not have a document showing natural heritage space.
So all you have to do is go online and find it.
Mr. Winter.
One more thing, and I'll make it brief. When National Heritage and DEP tried to take me to the cleaners, they showed up like gangbusters. Charlie McDonald was there with the town environmentalist. I had my own environmentalist, who I paid dearly. They both agreed that that was not priority habitat area, the whole process.
The town agreed?
The town agreed.
The town doesn't have the right to say that.
You know, I can see where you're coming from, and I can't take it anymore.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, so we have three options. We can issue a termination, or we can continue
I move to issue a -3 with condition
the standard.
Because.
There's a motion on the floor. Let's wait for a second before we discuss it. Is there a second?
So we keep,
Discussion.
Specifics on
-3 is in the buffer zone, but doesn't include the Cliff Note version. It's in the buffer zone, but doesn't impact the resource area. To answer your question, on it, yes, thank you. What was your discussion about Brendan?
Oh, I just wanted to know if National Heritage still gets a say even if we give a negative determination.
Sure. I mean, just applying for the RDA kind of through us sort of gives them jurisdiction.
I didn't know if that happened until the NOI happened, or did we do that on an RDA?
So I'm not exactly sure, but they're not us.
But I want to make sure that it goes through the proper channels, right? Because we don't want them to get in trouble. And so we need to be sure that allowing the RDA to go through as it does will still take it to natural heritage.
yeah, because it'll go for review.
Well, it goes to DEP.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
So,
-3, standard conditions, which is silt fence, and
Yep.
it'll be spelled out right on the plan.
Okay, so I'm good to clear the land now?
No.
You gotta get paperwork in hand.
Okay. So just the building, I just have to get the building permit, or could you just, sorry, I don't know the...
Wait, we didn't have
Well-
a vote to order to issue the conditions. We usually
I
do
thought
that
we
as a
did.
separate thing.
No.
You didn't say that you wanted, that you were doing a -3 with the standard conditions.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what they said.
Sucks to be taking the notes and trying to.
Yeah, you need the paperwork in hand from us,
Yeah,
which the chair presumably will type up, which
okay.
is, based on your application here.
Oh, okay,
So
gotcha.
check out the -3 box, get a hold of all of us, we'll sign the signature sheet. She
Yeah.
sends one to the DEP, she gets one to you, once you've got it.
once I get that, then I should, okay.
Then you should be able to get a building permit.
Right. 'Cause then the conservation
Yeah,
committee will
that's
sign,
our
you guys will
sign
sign.
piece of it, yeah.
Yep, okay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much.
No problem, have a good one. You too. Should I need your...
Yeah, that's why I waited.
I don't actually have it with me.
Okay.
No,
I'm there usually first thing in the morning. Right, okay.
Yeah, the old business conservation agent.
Oh, okay. That was a while ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same time I think of. Hi, guys.
Good night, Randall.
Good night.
Good night. Shared agent, there's a meeting on September 25th at 1. Did that happen? Email the job description September 11th.
Yeah.
Days to read upon, should we just got it to vote on?
Yeah.
Bunch of stuff was taken out of there, I guess it was
Yeah, it was
too much
consolidated.
filler stuff.
So essentially it was that same kind of general.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there a motion to approve the job description that was emailed out on September 11th?
One thing I wanted to look at, might have a question on it, just gotta reread it. Alright, so this is what her email got 11th confirmed job description led to a misinterpretation. There was nothing new in it. It contained points that had been agreed upon prior to the administrative review. Okay, so that's that. I think I was just seeing too much red and green. Ah. Alright. So, would we have a motion? Or do you,
I'm looking for one.
so moved? Second.
All in favor to approve the job description for the shared conservation agent with Easthampton that was emailed out on September 11th?
Get that done.
I will show as being opposed. Moving right along, stewardship projects, plan for removal of invasives at the farm conservation area. I think we all saw the email traffic from Mr. Girandro, I believe, was encouraged by DEP to come to the meeting to address that. As yet, I don't think, well, I certainly have not seen a plan.
Yeah, they said they emailed one, but I hadn't seen it either.
Yeah, it was just generally.
Yeah,
All right.
that he was gonna remove invasives from some area within the ZIPTA parcel, which is, 100+ acres.
Well, we did a site visit on that, and it is along the wetland that's way back there, like down the
The
old
back
town.
driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's how, what,
So they sent the
Specifics.
email, did you get, I think that's the one that T has. So there's an email about, it'll be like a 2016 Bobcat with brush on the back,
I see
2016.
that.
And then the rest of it, all the hand tools. So my question is, I have no idea what a 2016 Bobcat looks like. So what do we see could be the impacts on that, especially what do you see the impacts could be to the farm field if they come in with something like that kind of machinery?
We're over there right now doing it, so it's not a problem.
where is it now, down by the duck pond?
Yeah, it's the overflow from the river and then what they
Yeah,
call
that whole oxbow piece.
the river trail that's kind of
Oh, yeah.
came in on itself.
Yeah. Where the culverts are missing and whatnot.
Yeah,
Cool.
so
It's a good area to work.
it looks like when we did when we were there last, it looked like some barbed wire had already been removed, some brush had taken down.
Yeah, there's another guy in there working too.
So, that helps, whatever they do is good in my eyes.
He also, as you guys saw, offered to do things in the future, even though he's not held to do so. Do some brush hogging.
As long as they pay attention on that roadway, I think they should be good.
Right. And I think he's been made aware to kind of half coordinate with
Yeah, and
new guys.
we pretty much,
Which I mean, clearly is, on half their basis.
right, I spoke to Marla about it, and she was concerned about, she was gonna have a meeting with him and go over what they were planning, and we just took all the hay off of it, so driving through the back there is not an issue with us at this point.
He's got his whole harmless sign.
Did he already do that? You know, it's like he.
Yeah, I have a copy of it.
Oh, great.
Yeah. There's a copy of this. Yeah, we all got it. It was, she sent it 4:45.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
I checked my email at like 3 or 3:30, something like that. Just before the bus.
Okay. Well, I move to accept Mr. John Grove's plan to remove the invasives that sit at the front conservation area.
Second?
Motion and second, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No, sorry. Buzzed out here. Anybody opposed? Because that's unanimous, I guess it's not, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'll catch up.
All in favor?
Everybody's in favor. Status of the survey and blazing work. I've been out in my backyard and, yep, they found some of the pins out there. You missed two of mine, but that was a couple of weeks ago, so I'll see them back. Haven't seen any purple dots out there yet. But there's surveyor state and there's that little stream thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, little trail string. So
Other
that's
than that,
good.
everything's going along.
Yeah,
Show you.
it's moving along.
What's going on with the driveway that's right up to the edge of the property?
Driveway going in.
So that's okay. Are there setbacks for driveways? I didn't get a chance to have any information.
Yes, but I think they're fairly small, especially
But
when
like
you get to
at
the
the
road.
tree that has our sign on it and the flagging on it?
Yeah, I think that's probably all right.
Yeah, all right.
At the road.
Asphalt on top of the tree afterwards.
A whole bunch of them when they repave the road and they're doing all right.
Well, that's good.
Volunteers, anything new there?
Yes. Mr. Bueller, who is the head of the Greenway Commission, he is willing to work with one of us to do like our Friends of Southampton Trails, to get more volunteers on the trails. And so I'd be happy to be that person if everyone's cool with that. And to work with them because I've been doing the trail stuff, but definitely with input on what areas are needed and what's been done in the past. We can.
And what was that start? We don't have, what is it, Friends of Southampton?
Yeah, from the Southampton Trails.
Trails.
Yep.
Everybody else all right with that? There's a consensus. Zip the barn, nothing new, I think we're all here last meeting to know that the Community Preservation Commission is supporting, I think it was a $40,000 article on a fall town meeting to do the roof work there.
I'm gonna cut the grass over there next week or so again if I can.
Sure.
It actually didn't make it to the original draft or the town meeting, so we're just to make sure that we are actually on it. But we may be okay anyway because the meeting might have to be pushed back for other reasons.
Oh, the town meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it hurts not here, but as far as if the barn goes, I think we still have money in the stabilization account for that. I was thinking in preparation for the, and Art's not getting answer the question, but just throw the idea out there. The trees to the, I'm gonna say northeast end of it, kind of spend the money on that, have like K&J or somebody like that pop in there and prune those trees up and get them off the barn.
Without officially hearing it from Art himself, I think his ledger is saying 4517 with some change.
Yeah, just as to whether we can use those funds to do that. Anyways, there's the way. And then regular business, review minutes from September 11th, 2017.
I like the little side note.
That was not me.
I'm sure, yeah.
We're good.
After Bedrock states on the conservation restriction.
Oh, no, okay. When you're ready, I entertain a motion.
Yep.
What's that motion to accept this permit?
So. Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is unanimous. Treasurer's report as emailed by the treasurer.
Doesn't look like we have any signatures or anything, right? You didn't give anybody anything?
No, it's a separate line on each end.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Well, kind of goes in.
It does. It does, but it is a separate line.
Yeah. Can't talk about it without saying, we have to approve.
Right.
Usually segues nicely.
Mm-hmm. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the treasury report as presented.
Second. Made and seconded for the discussion. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Nobody opposed, it's unanimous. No signatures that I'm aware of. Anybody have any signatures?
No.
Correspondence, there's a long list of email correspondence here and the sheriff's notes. One from Crystal Land Trust, 5K Farm and Farmland Farmers Market Festival.
Rotary.
Yeah, don't miss the 5K for Farmland Farmers. September, I think September 15th, I'll be when the email was sent versus on the activities. One from DCR, a fabulous site about flooding. Another one from DCR, FEMA and EMI news update, Cresswell Land Trust, Kurt Beaujolais, we heard from tonight, CPC project, bids Lane Restaurant Road. Another, so most of us saw these emails, one from Bob Markle, Easthampton Media, one from Mr. Catanasso, Art, I messed up his name, Art Catanzaro, Mass, land project, Con Ed's, another one from DCR, extension to a fighting plan, on former Crooked Ledge, certificate of compliance for Quigley Road, DCR, where the governor's administration awards $905,000 to municipalities to restore rivers by replacing failing infrastructure. Who's that? That was thinking Lyman Dam.
Yeah, the water department, so.
Let's see, there's an email regarding NOI for White Wolf Road. Email from Mr. Gallagher regarding White Wolf Road. One from Heritage Surveys about 318 College Highway NOI. One from DEP for invasive species of the Zinta area. One from VHP regarding Glendale Road response to NOI comments. One from PDPC regarding traffic Concom agent work plan. Another one from the interim town administrator regarding Easthampton media, that they'll be videotaping and broadcasting the next meeting. Hard copies, there's an NOI from Mr. Gallagher.
Did they receive those?
Yeah, it says there's hard copy, but no check. And then we need, site visits. They're laid out crosswalks up and down, so it threw me off. It's like, East States, it's 318 College Highway, that doesn't seem right. Site visits for the certificate of compliance on Pellegrini Estates, NOI at 318 College Highway, and the NOI for White Wolf Road. Presume that the chair will put an email out for availability for those.
I think I sent one out the other day. As far as right now, how crazy I am right now, it's gonna be make the appointment, whatever's best for everybody else right now, and I'll do everything in my power to make sure I'm there.
Yeah, I probably, when I saw yours, like, I should do that, and I obviously haven't done that yet. Because I mean, I'm probably more available than I'm not. It's just, just try to throw out there when I am, when I'm not. It's challenging to specify, but like say, throw a date out there.
And weekends are really going to be the best time for most of us, unless it's during the day, because it's going to be getting dark soon.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly for me during the day, during the week is better than a 50-50 shot.
October weekends are not going to work for me.
Oh, why? How do you start?
Going up the silos? Farm stand is going to get busy next week.
Oh, yeah. What time do you start? When people show up?
Yeah,
Start banging on the
we
door.
start for over today, 9 a.m. I had somebody move the cones out of the driveway last year.
Oh, they open for you?
Yeah. Open
Nice.
volunteers.
Volunteers.
Yeah.
Did anybody do that survey for UMass on those continuing education things? Anybody open that up, see it?
I can't say I did.
You didn't see it? I think I deleted it.
I didn't do that. Probably moved
It was just a survey, so I was like, I thought the idea was good.
Right. I did another one.
Your survey, right?
Yeah, that's what that was, yeah.
Well, this one was actually for doing college level courses where you get credit in or, continuing education credits or just kind of like you guys have done with your seminars and stuff, which I haven't done yet. But it's time.
That's all right. Good. That's the end of the agenda. All right, anything further?
Oh, wait.
Oh, you want
Yeah. It'll take forever to find it.
No worries.
All right.
It's a big project.
Make a motion to adjourn. Aye.
Aye.
Second. Everybody's in favor?